Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You're trying to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. Your feelings about President Biden or President Trump?
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like you have your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022.
Believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
Curb Your
seriously, sir.
Enthusiasm?
You ever watch a Senate hearing so fiery it makes you proud that someone's finally standing up for truth? Well, Senator John Kennedy just took a law professor to school, and folks, it was glorious. Welcome back to Capitol Chronicle, where we expose hypocrisy, defend freedom, and celebrate American common sense. If you love this country and believe in free speech, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because this one's gonna fire you up. You ever notice how the left loves to talk about truth and justice until someone calls them out with cold, hard facts? That's exactly what happened when Senator John Kennedy went head-to-head with Professor Mary Ann Frank. Kennedy challenged Professor so-called...
I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley's, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that, I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that. No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruin, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well," close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
Thanks. Now, this so-called legal expert went before Congress to claim that the Biden administration didn't coerce speech, but that President Trump did. Right out of the gate, Kennedy saw through it. He asked her straight up, "Are your politics clouding your judgment?" And of course, she said no, because that's what they always say. But here's where it gets wild. Kennedy comes prepared, quoting her own words from the New York University Law Review, where she actually said the Supreme Court has embraced the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy and turned it into a homicide pact. I mean, seriously? This is someone testifying as a constitutional scholar before the United States Senate. And she's calling our founding document a a weapon of oppression. Then Kennedy went for the receipts. Then came the...
For it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this.
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
Curb Your
seriously, sir.
Enthusiasm?
He pulled up her tweets. Pure, unfiltered radicalism. One tweet said, "The majority of Americans hate women more than they love democracy." Another accused the Supreme Court of being driven by white male supremacy. Folks, this isn't scholarship, it's ideology masquerading as intellect, and when Kennedy pressed her, she dodged, deflected, and tried to act like none of it mattered. You could see the frustration on Kennedy's face. That's when he dropped the line that'll go down in hearing history. "You've heard of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Here's mine. Curb my nausea." Boom! That's the sound of a senator who's done with elitist nonsense. Let's be real. This isn't just about one professor. This is about a growing problem in America's universities and institutions. The radical left has taken over academia, weaponizing identity politics to undermine our Constitution and silence conservative voices. When people like Professor Franks testify before Congress, they aren't offering objective analysis. They're pushing ideology. And that's why Kennedy's grilling matters. It wasn't rude. It was accountability. Someone needed to remind these so-called experts that our Constitution isn't a homicide pact. It's the very document that guarantees the freedoms they abuse every time they slander this country. This hearing showed us exactly what we're up against. A left that's offended by truth, allergic to accountability, and addicted to victimhood. But as long as patriots like Kennedy, and you keep speaking out, they won't win. So if you believe in the First Amendment, if you're sick of professors and politicians looking down on hardworking Americans, hit that like button right now, share this video, and make sure you subscribe to Capitol Chronicle. We're not backing down, and neither should you. Because in the end, truth doesn't need safe spaces. It needs courage. If you're tired of double standards, censorship, and elitist hypocrisy, join the movement. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and help us keep exposing the left's lies one video at a time.